Hi guys, welcome to my channel and today we will talk about semester 4 assignment for the subject research methodology and this is for June 2024 cycle. So all the students who are in SAM 4 now will needs to submit this assignment. This is a regular cycle and research methodology is a subject which is applicable for all the students irrespective of any stream, like if you are into the SCM or IT or finance or HR, whatever field, whatever specialization you are having, you will get this subject in your fourth semester, which is research methodology. This subject is very important from understanding perspective because this will help you in preparing for your project and in your career ahead or in your long-term experience. You will get to learn lot of things from this particular subject. One important thing is that this subject is not a theoretical one. It won't work like if you rectification do and you will be able to crack this subject. No. And from my perspective and from all the students whom I had interacted in the past, I have seen that research methodology is one of the toughest subjects out of all the 4 semesters. Right, so guys, understand this subject thoroughly, spare more time to understand this subject and write the assignments carefully and prepare well for the exams. A few changes I have done in my videos. If you see in this video, I will be talking about that what the question is all about, what you write in this question, each and every question, and then I will be sharing you that which page numbers to refer from the book. And additionally, I have prepared one of the assignment, so I'm just sharing for the reference purposes, so you can just refer to this and all the links regarding the books, important questions, or the Word document which I'll be showing in this video. I will be uploading in a drive, so you can access the drive link. I will be uploading the link in the comment section. Right. So, guys, before starting it, just a brief. As you all are aware of that, we are having 3 questions. First, second, third A and third B. Each question is of 10 marks, and the word count is 1000 words. Plus minus 10% is applicable. Two important things: plagiarism and copy case. So make sure by writing these assignments, not this each and every assignment. Make sure that these two things you will keep in mind. Otherwise, you will get a 0 marks, or you can say the copy case. So let's start with our first question. So yeah, I'm just going to the first question. So the first question states, one of the newly opened gym in your area trying to understand what type of exercise is preferred by the people these days, how often they do their exercise, and do they really enjoy it or they just do it for the sake of doing it. Which research design is the most suitable for this situation? Write research proposal for this situation. So guys, if we talk about, as I mentioned earlier, that research methodology is a completely research based subject. You need to think through and understand and write the answer accordingly. So one way is, most of the students I have seen ke, okay, if you need to write about the research proposal, you just give okay what contents you need to cover in the research proposal and you just write the answer, right? But this is not the ideal scenario. In this case, they have given you a case study ke boss, nowadays newly gym is being opened and you just need to identify that whether the people are actually doing the exercise or it's just for namesake, right? So firstly you need to identify that what will be the correct research design which would be suitable for this situation, and secondly we need to write a complete research proposal, right? So firstly we see that which page numbers you can refer from the book to just get an understanding what's the research design and what's the methodology we are talking about. So page number 131, 32 and 44. So let's quickly go to the page number 131. So 131 talks about the research design. At least you should have an understanding before writing the answer that what the research design is all about. Then we are talking about the different elements. At least when writing some research design, you should have an understanding, okay, these are the certain key items or key areas you need to focus upon. Then next part comes is the mixed methodology. Why I just mentioned, because as per my understanding, mixed method is the one which we are going to highlight in this case study, right? So it's important that before writing the answer to this question, just study these pointers well. Why? Because this is important from this question perspective. Additionally, this is important from your exam perspective, right? So both the things will be covered, and definitely the key motto of these videos is like, you need not to read the complete book, because you will get a lot of time to just study for the books. As of now, the first focus is our assignment, so you need to refer that 20-30 pages which I am referring in these videos, right? So again, I am saying that these are the 2 or 3 pages which you are referring for this question, but comes that how you need to write the answer. So let's quickly jump to the answer. So this is the answer which you actually supposed to write. So guys, please don't copy paste, otherwise you all will get the 0 marks. This is just for a reference purpose. Like firstly, I'm talking about that, okay, for this mixed method research design is required. Just to give a brief, right? And one important thing, that this complete Word document which I have prepared is covering all the aspects of NMIMS, like it's covering 3000 words, and it's not plagiarism and not copy case. I have prepared on my own. So here's the research proposal. So firstly we talk about the understanding, it's the title of the research proposal. Then we are talking about the brief introduction, that what we are talking about. Then what are the key objectives of this particular proposal. Then what's the research design. Again, we mentioned that it's a mixed method. Then we talk about the methodology. In methodology, we are covering 2 things. One is quantitative and the second is the qualitative. Again, in this we are covering the 4 pointers. One is what are the participants, how the survey will happen, what will be the data collection technique, what will be the data analysis, right? In data collection, like, will be administered online and offline, and in data analysis we are using certain descriptive and the inferential statistics. And if we talk about data analysis, there we use some thematic, or you can say based on the behavior or the pattern or the how people are enjoying that stuff. So here comes the data analysis for the qualitative phase. Then it comes the ethical considerations. Why it's important? Because it's important because when you are taking the information, gathering the information, it's important that those are the ethically correct, and you need to take the consent of the participants because you are disclosing their information. Then what's the expected outcomes? Then what will be the certain timelines? See, timelines and budget is not mandatory, but in real life it's very important. So I have mentioned that, okay, what's the various phases you will cover, one month, 2 weeks, 1 week, and this, what will be the budget, and what's the conclusion. And last line, just giving a concluded statement of this answer. So this is the way how we just write the first answer. It's just my thought, my approach. You can just write it on your own words, or maybe you can just you can use it as for the reference purposes, right? I think first question is pretty much clear, that this is the way how you need to write the answer. Then the second question comes that you are HR manager in one of the major IT company, design an experimental study to look into the factors that affect the employee churn in the IT firm, with an emphasis on the HR initiatives to lower that attrition rate. Develop a design of experiment of the study, keeping independent, dependent, and extraneous variables into consideration. How will you apply the control in this experimental research? Explain the variables and steps. So it covers a hell lot of things. To be honest, there are so many things, and it's a very lengthy answer. You need to see, although I have covered so many pointers, you can cut short, you can brief it out, right? So firstly, understand what the question talks about. So question is talking about employee churn rate. Churn rate means the number of employees moving out of the company, definitely for the higher salary, for the better work culture, and a number of things. So it's a very common thing in the IT companies. You can see the people are switching in just 6 months or a year or 2 years or 3 years, something like that. So you need to firstly identify that what were the certain factors. So it's again an experimental study. So what are the factors? Then we need to emphasize that which HR initiatives need to be taken care to lower that attrition rate. Then we need to talk about the different variables, like independent, dependent, and extraneous variables which we need to consider while we're talking about the experimental study of employee churn rate. Then we need to talk about the control factors, that how these things can be controlled. We need to talk about these variables and the steps. So major focus is about these variables and the different steps, right? So what page numbers? Firstly, we need to understand what's the experimental design all about, what's the step-by-step process in the experimental design. So you need to refer to the page number 226. Just quickly going to the page number 226. Yeah, I think it's, yeah. So 226 page, we are talking about, yeah, it's an introductory part, that what's the experimental design all about. Certain scenarios are being given. It's important to just go through this. And second is the lab experiment, one sample example, like how the control manipulation, the things will be done, what are the different variables. So it's important to just go through these terms. It's important to understand, because when you write the answer, at least you should have some understanding that okay, these pointers you need to refer, or can be considered in this answer, right? So this is a very lengthy question answer, as well as this very lengthy chapter. So I would recommend to just quickly go through this chapter at least once before answering this question. Now moving to the actual answer, that what answer to be written. So like I'm just giving a very brief, that okay, what's the proposed design which I'm trying to write. Okay, the very first thing is about the research question. What's the question all about? Then see, I have prepared an experimental design and have covered the key aspects which are being asked in the question, like the variables. So firstly we talk about the independent variables. What are independent variables? I just gave a brief, as well as I explained with reference to this employee churn rate. Then we covered that okay, these are the following independent variables, like one is the HR initiatives, like which needs to be taken care, like trainings, compensation, work-life balance, career growth opportunities. Then is the leadership, like we are having the different types of leadership. I think you all have gone through in the semester 1, transformational, transitional, laissez-faire leadership, or you can just explain the, I think 7 or 8 leadership techniques we studied in, I think in marketing management, or it's MTP, I'm not sure. So then the third is employment engagement strategies, like regular feedback, recognition, team building activities. Then it's a performance evaluation, like planning some different objective metrics, subjective evaluations. Then communication channels, like we have open door policy, regular meetings, employee surveys. These are all the independent. If we talk about the dependent, so it's only one the dependent variable, which is the employee churn rate where we are talking about. So you can explain that what's the employee churn rate. Then extraneous variables. In extraneous variables, firstly we define, because we already have studied in decision science that what are independent dependent variables, but we have never studied about the extraneous variables. So these are the factors other than independent variables that can affect and influence the dependent variables. So it's basically an intermediate part, right? So like it's employee demographics, age, gender, education level, experience, economic conditions, market trend or industry trends, then the company work environment, organizational values. So these are the independent dependent which have been asked in the question. So that's why I have just explained in detail all these three variables. Then comes is the experimental design, where we talk about the RCT. It's randomized control trial. It's important to just understand this term. Then what are the different steps? So in steps we are having 3. One is the pre-experiment, then the second is the experimental phase, and the third one is the post-experiment. Like firstly, before experimenting, what are the pointers, then during the experiment, and finally after the experiment, its impact. Then these are the certain control measures, like the random assignment, standardization, data collection, monetization, and statistical controls, which an HR can take care of. Then the analysis, we are talking about the statistical regression analysis, and last but not the least about the interpretation and the conclusion for this particular you can say the experimental design which we had done, and last is 2-3 liners of conclusion, right? So it's a very lengthy answer. I think second question is pretty much okay and clear to you. Moving to the third question. Third question are having 2 parts, third A and third B. So third is the common question, and A and P are of 500 words with small answers. During pandemic, the Zepto has emerged as a major quick commerce market in the Mumbai. However, after the entry of Swiggy, Instamart and Zomato Blinkit, the market has become highly competitive. The market has been changing with respect to the consumer preferences, market trends, consumer choices for the apps, classify and distinguish the specific purposes for which the Zepto may be able to use research effectively. Write down the problem statement and operational definition of this research. So understand what we are talking about. Firstly, we are talking about that during pandemic, Zomato. I think most of the people have used this Zepto app for bringing the certain goods at home, the day-to-day grocery items. So Zepto has been trending in the market. But again, in parallel to Zepto, we are having Instamart, Blinkit, and other service providers. That's why the things are become very competitive. So we need to talk about that how the different researches is required to for the specific needs of the Zepto, and we need to talk about what's the problem statement, what should be the operational definition of this research. We are not going in depth of this research, but we need to talk about a problem statement which is happening as per the question, problem statement and the operational definition, right? So we need to refer page number 35. On 35, I think it's a very brief about what's the problem statement. Just go through it, that what this problem statement talks about. Then go to the page number 58. On 58, we are talking about that in detail about defining the problem statement. You should get an understanding, okay, these words or these words should not be there. So it's all about the different terms, right? Then we talk about the operational where is this operational definition, that okay, what is this operational definition talk about, and what's the meaning of this is important to understand. So this is all the theoretical aspects. Now we see how the actual answer to be written. Then firstly the first part asks that what's the importance of this research. So why it's important for Zepto. So these are the 4 areas, like understanding the consumer preferences, market trends, competitive analysis, and app performance evaluation. Like obviously we are having the competitor in the market, it's important to get the market study, and you should be up to date with the market so that you will be able to satisfy the needs of the customers, and definitely you will above and above from your competitors. Then we are talking about what's the problem statement. So this I have prepared based on the question and some other things. I just able to get this problem statement. Then what's the operational definitions. So operational definitions, again, it's related to what's the consumer preferences, market trends, competitive analysis, and app performance evaluation. So if you see, the pointers are the same, but we are talking a little bit different from the above purposes. So operational definition is more related that what's the need for that particular operations and how it will be helpful. So these are the 4 operational definitions, and last is the conclusory part, which you can just write it based on the understanding of the question. So third A question is pretty much clear. Then the third B part, this is a very tricky question, and I think in last semester, last year, the similar question is being asked in third sem and fourth sem, and it's a very common question to prepare a questionnaire to study the consumer preferences for most of the preferred Q-commerce apps. So firstly, don't get misconfused that some people is so that it's an e-commerce app or it's a Q-commerce. So Q-commerce is about this quick commerce market. It's clearly mentioned quick commerce market. So Q-commerce and e-commerce is different. Second thing, it's clearly mentioned you need to write a questionnaire. So definitely you can write 1 or 2 liners that what's the questionnaire all about, what's the important, but at the end of the day you need to write all the questions which you just think of to study the consumer preferences with respect to the quick commerce application. So here it's nothing much from the book. It's page number 201, which you can refer for the questionnaire part. I can just quickly navigate you that it's talking about that guidelines for writing the questionnaire. So it talks about that what's the questionnaire all about, to just get an understanding of the questionnaire part, right? But this not covering the actual questionnaire. Actual questionnaire is here. So here is the questionnaire, right? So firstly we talk about the introduction. It's not like we directly start asking the question, you just give okay, thanks for this survey. Then we talk about the demographic information, what's the age, gender, occupation. Then we talk about the app uses, that which you are using currently, how frequently you are using, what are the different factors, like which factors of your choice influence the use of the quick commerce app, how it is important to get a wide variety of the products, what's the pricing compared to the other apps, what about its delivery part, what's the user interface and ease of access of that particular application, and how it's the consumer support. And it's very important thing, because at the end of the day sometimes you need to go for the refund or there's some issue, then you should have a better consumer services. Then we talk about what's the overall satisfaction and recommendation with reference to this Q-commerce application. It's, we talk about one is dissatisfied, then 2, 3, or you can just directly write one is dissatisfied, then is the most satisfied, or 1 to 5. It's purely up to you. Then which app would you recommend your most preferred app to others? Definitely, if you are liking your 5 apps and you like the X or Y or Z particular app, then will you able to recommend to the other persons? What's the improvement and suggestions which you can see to enhance your experience, and additional comments. And last is the conclusive statement. So this is the complete answer, all the 3 answers. And if I talk about the number of words, it's covering 3018 words, which is complying with the all the questions. And this is the way how you need to write the answer. So in this video I have covered you that this is the way you need to write to the answer. I have covered all the page numbers which you can refer from the book. So this way I'm just writing the similar pattern for other subject videos as well. And if you have any doubts, facing any issue, you can just connect to me at ngasc.mba@gmail.com. You can just share your contact details so that I will just call you and we will discuss all your and clarify all your doubts. And if you feel that the video is helping you, please do like, do share, do comment, and just ask your friends to like this video. And I try to just share this link as much as possible. That would help me motivating prepare more and more videos for you, and definitely it would be helpful for you, I'm assuming this. Please do mention the similar stuff in the comment section, and we'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.